There is a strange fact about Hegel. For all his criticisms of Stoicism, he treats it with enormous respect. In the Phenomenology of Spirit, Stoicism is not presented as a mistake, nor as a dead end, nor as an intellectual curiosity. It appears as one of the great victories of human consciousness. In fact, Hegel believes the Stoics discovered something so important that modern ideas of freedom would be impossible without them. And yet he also believes that Stoicism ultimately fails. The question is, how can a philosophy be both a triumph and a failure? To understand this, we need to understand where Stoicism appears in the phenomenology. The appearance of Stoicism is not accidental. It emerges directly from the famous struggle between master and slave. The master appears free, the slave appears dependent. Yet Hegel gradually reveals the opposite. The master depends upon recognition. The slave transforms the world through labor. And through labor, consciousness discovers itself. Then suddenly something remarkable occurs. Consciousness realizes perhaps freedom was never located in external conditions. Perhaps freedom belongs to thought itself. This realization produces Stoicism. Hegel says, as it consciously appeared in the history of spirit, this freedom of self-consciousness has, as is well known, been called Stoicism. Phenomenology of Spirit, section 198. The significance of this statement cannot be overstated. For Hegel, Stoicism is not merely a school of philosophy, it is a stage in the development of spirit itself, a new form of consciousness, a new understanding of freedom. The Stoics discover something extraordinary. Freedom does not depend on external power, not on wealth, not on status, not on political position, not even on physical liberty. A slave may be free, an emperor may be unfree. Because freedom is found in thought, in the words of Hegel, consciousness is the thinking essence. Phenomenology of Spirit, section 198. This is the revolutionary insight. The world may control my body, it cannot control my reason. The world may take away possessions, it cannot take away my capacity to think. The Stoic discovers an inner domain beyond domination, and Hegel genuinely admires this discovery. He even describes Stoicism as a universal historical achievement. Hegel says, Stoicism is the freedom which always immediately leaves servitude and returns back into the pure universality of thought. Phenomenology of Spirit, paragraph 199. Notice the language. Returns, not escapes, returns. Freedom is discovered as something already present within consciousness itself. Why Stoicism thrived in times of empire. Hegel notices something historically fascinating. Stoicism flourishes during periods of political domination, especially under the Roman Empire. Why? Because external freedom becomes difficult. Political participation collapses. Individuals become powerless before vast institutions. The result is a migration inward. If freedom cannot be secured politically, it must be secured philosophically. The Stoic creates an invincible kingdom, the kingdom of thought. For Hegel, it can only come on the scene during a time of universal fear and servitude. Phenomenology of Spirit, paragraph 199. This is one of Hegel's most sociological observations. Ideas emerge from historical conditions. Stoicism is not merely argued, it becomes necessary. Now comes Hegel's criticism, and it is subtle. He does not deny Stoic freedom, he asks whether it is enough. The Stoic says, "I am free because I can think." Hegel replies, "What exactly are you thinking?" The moment we ask for content, problems emerge. What is justice? What is truth? What is goodness? What is freedom itself? Stoicism repeatedly answers reason, 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 reason. And Hegel begins to suspect that the answer is becoming circular. He says, the true and the good is supposed to consist in rationality. Phenomenology of Spirit, paragraph 200. But what rationality? Whose rationality? How is it determined? How does it become concrete? The Stoics never fully explain. Hegel's deepest criticism is that Stoicism achieves freedom only by retreating from reality. Reality becomes secondary. History becomes secondary. Institutions become secondary. Politics becomes secondary. The Stoic remains free because he withdraws into thought. But then thought loses contact with the very world it hopes to understand. Freedom survives at the price of becoming abstract. Hegel says this freedom in thought only has pure thoughts as its truth, a truth without any fulfillment in life. Phenomenology of Spirit, section 200. That sentence contains the entire critique. Without fulfillment in life. Not false, incomplete. The Stoic possesses freedom, but only as an idea, not yet as a living reality. Let's now talk on Hegel's alternative. Hegel does not reject Stoicism, he radicalizes it. The Stoic asks, how can consciousness remain free? Hegel asks, how can freedom become real? How can freedom enter institutions, law, culture, family, politics, history? The Stoic protects freedom from the world. Hegel wants freedom to transform the world. That is the difference.